Okay, we are now officially live. Welcome everyone to the UnBusiness Show. And there we go. Welcome everyone to the UnBusiness Show. I'm your host, Marshall Stern, and I'm so happy you're all here with us. We are here today with Jeanette Martin of MYBC Consulting. Now, I'm going to actually, before I introduce Jeanette, I just want to tell you a little bit about UnBusiness, the UnBusiness Show, because this is the UnBusiness Show. What does that mean? Well, the UnBusiness Show is a show where we look at our business differently. We look at it differently so we can see the opportunities that we don't normally see, and we can build a business that actually serves our life, right? What a concept, having a life outside of our business. That's what the UnBusiness Show is all about. And I put it on a hiatus for a while. I am back, and there's no better person. There's no better person than this one to my, I don't know, left, right, wherever you see her. Hopefully you see her, but you will in a second. Jeanette Martin of MYBC Consult. I am not even going to talk about you, your bio or anything, because I will not do you justice. I'm going to let you explain who you are. And we're going to talk about finding customers and new opportunities in a different way that maybe you didn't think about. So get a pen, piece of paper, or a notepad you might need. Let's go. Jeanette, welcome.
Thank you, Marshall. You know what's kind of cool out there to the world? I've never met this person in reality. It was about 8, 9, 10 months ago. I don't know how we connected, but that's the point, is we are connected. And I'm going to say find connections before you find your customers and find your next opportunity and things like that, is understand that word connections. The name of my company is MYBC Consulting. It's not MyBC Consulting, it's MYBC Consulting. And that is called the Move Your Bum Chum Consulting Company. So if you go to moveyourbumchum.com, it will go over to MyBC Consulting. And I had started my company in 2014 on April the 1st, believe it or not, no fooling. And my background is with big corporations. I've worked for corporate Canada, corporate US, always chosen the profession of customer service. I've worked for Staples, I've worked for Starbucks, I've worked for when the Sears chain bought the Eatons and put them back on the map, Reitman's, Dalmy's, and I made a conscious decision because I was going to school to become a chef. And at the same time, little people don't know, is at the same time I was going to modeling school, Blanche Macdonald. There's a famous modeling school here in town called Blanche Macdonald. And plus size, I'm not a little person, I'm tall and whatever. I take a good space on this earth. And their rationale was, what can you do for yourself after you take our courses? So I'm like, wow, what a concept. So I was in fashion for a bit as going to culinary school, and I'm like, you know what? I'm loving this fashion and helping people because I started working in stores. And Marshall, in my family, I'm from a blended family of 7. I'm the middle child of 7 kids, looking up at 3, looking down at 3, girl, boy, boy, girl, boy, boy, girl in my family. And what's super cool to know is I'm the only one that kind of has an unusual profession. I have a sister that's a teacher, a brother that's in IT, a brother that's a movie producer, director in that industry. I have a brother who's a senior project manager for restoration, a Red Seal chef, and a sister that works in the university. I'm the only one that doesn't have a traditional schooling job. I created this. That industry. Oh, I just heard myself. Oh, there's an echo. The little voice in my head was coming out of my head. That was awesome. So the moral of this story is I had to create this company and how to help businesses. My whole thought process in 2014 was take my big box thinking and bring it down to the small box retailer, or the small business person, side entrepreneur, side gigging enthusiast. But I had to build a connection. And I had to learn the social media platforms of LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and how people used these platforms to promote their businesses. And it's like, okay, and if we think about those 4 words, they are nouns, right? They're a noun. LinkedIn, LinkedIn, or the LinkedIn, the Facebook, the Instagram, the Twitter. Well, if we're not applying action to those words, your intentions, your networks to help you get those connections where your next customer is going to come from, you're never going to get your goals in life. So the birth of that was into the lifting up system. And it's about lifting up other people before you lift up yourself using these platforms. So with that being said, that is the core of my life. The more that I can lift up somebody else, they will lift up me, either directly as a customer by exchanging money and doing business with me, or they will know someone like you did the other day. The connection, by the way, thank you. Janice and I are having a bee coffee on Tuesday. You are lifting up me by connecting me because I've been lifting up you. So with that being said, one of the things that I'm sure, do you have some business cards kicking around, Marshall? Yeah, that you went networking, you got this big stack of business cards. Okay. So do you know what a business card is? Let's just get down to the first basics about networking and what a business card is. What do you think a business card is?
Well, so a business card's all about me. Business card is, it's just your information, right? I mean.
Change of mindset. Okay. You've gone networking. So you've gone to that, say, chamber event. You've walked up to someone and I walk up to you and I've got the proper tag on mine, the hard one that says I'm with, the Greater Langley Chamber of Commerce. You've got the paper tag on because you're a visitor into our chat, into our membership or dinner. And I walk up to you and I'm like, oh, who are you, Marshall? I've never seen you before. I'm Miss Langley. I know everybody in Langley. I've never seen you here before. Who are you? What do you do? You were on my W5 story session live. Okay, when did you decide? Where's your business? I know everything. Okay, wow, why? In that 2 to 3 minutes exchange, you have built relationship to want to know more. You have spent the currency of time to have the privilege of that person giving you their business card to you. That business card is implied consent with all my information too. Please, here's my email, send me an email. Here's my phone number. You have my phone number to call. Here's my address, send me something. Right. Here's my little mini billboard. You now have in your hand, we've exchanged the respectful relationship in that 2 to 3 minute exchange, because you always go networking. That's a whole another session. You always go with a little bit of a plan to meet certain people when you network. So now you've got that implied consent. Well, now I call it a gift. You have given me a gift in order for me to get to know you better, to carry on this conversation. So a lot of times I'll sneak over into the corner and write, oh, talked to Marshall about his 16-year-old son, his birthday's coming up, how cool. Boom, tuck it away. I get home and I'd love to share my screen now. And this is what I do with my business cards. And now, okay, you can see it on your side. This now goes for the, okay, so now this goes for the chat box. How many times have you gone to a Zoom in the last year and it's like, put your information into the chat box, put your information in the chat box. Well, what the frick for? This is what for. So guys, I had a stack of business cards. I have every single business card for the last 20 years. And I have done this to what I would say wherever possible, at least 85 to 90% of my business cards. I take that business card, and you can do this now. You want to know where your customers are? They're living in that stack of business cards right now. Long forgotten, but a gift to you. So grab that stack that you have and start lifting up yourself in their eyes. So before you do, you want to take a look and you want to ask yourself, what is your intention to have this person as a connection? Will it solve a problem for a customer? Will you learn something new from this customer? Could you build something with this? So what is your intent having this connection? How will this person benefit you and build your network? How will this person allow me to have somebody when they said, who do you know? Fill in the blank. And finally, with having this person as a connection, will together you get your goals in life. So this is the steps to connect, and you'll see it. It's LIFT, L-I-F-T, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So I go on to LinkedIn and I ask to connect. And one thing that's not on here, and I have to update it, is when you connect on LinkedIn, you always have a personal note. So I'm telling you, Marshall, you've got networking in your reality. Back when we could get together, do you ever walk up to somebody and go, connect with me? Just say that word. Hey, connect with me.
Yeah, of course not.
Well, on LinkedIn, if you push the connect button, that's like you're poking them in the head. Connect with me, connect with me, connect with me, connect. That's lazy. No, you go in, you add a personal note, and it's place, person, situation, or location. So the best one is situation. Hi, Marshall, met you networking at the chamber event in Langley. Wow, always good to know new businesses in Langley. How's your son doing? Exciting times. His 16th birthday is coming up. I'd love to add you to my sphere of influential people. May we connect, please? In kindness, Jeanette. So that's situational. Go ahead.
So you said place, person. What was the third P?
Place, person, position,
or
and
situation.
position.
Okay.
And like location. Okay. Yeah. So if it was place, so you take a look at their profile and maybe they're the same city as you. You bring in the place. Oh, I see you're located down the street from me. I've never noticed your business before. So glad to meet you. So you ask to connect. Remember to add a note to the person that you remember. I came across your profile or business is interesting. Let's connect. If they have one, a lot of times people are connecting their company page up to their business or their personal profile on LinkedIn. Follow their business page. Why? They post something on their business page, it's going to come into your feed and you'll have an opportunity to comment. Instagram, go follow their company account. If they have a personal account, do the same. Why personal? Marshall, when you get to your business, and I know you have two, you have a coaching business and you also have Sandbox Design. Do you, when you get to work, go, okay, guys, I'm in the sign business now. Don't talk to me about my family. Don't talk to me about my, walking the dog. Don't talk to me about my wife. Nope. No. Go follow their personal because you may be able to interact with them on a personal level before you want to do business with them.
Yeah.
Follow their business page and request to be a friend. Because if I met you in person, I want to have you in my friend world. And you want to do with Twitter. Now, here's the magic, people. What happens to them when you apply a lift up to your new followers? They get notified 4 to 8 times that you're looking at their online footprint. Back in the day, Marshall, if you needed a plumber 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, you would kind of say to your brother, hey, I need a plumber. And your brother would give you a business card or here's my buddy's name. But you know what? If you ever want to talk to anybody about that particular plumber, yeah, here's Bob, Tom, and Harry. And you would call, you go, hey, my brother John just gave me your number. Is Dave a good guy? Yeah, he's a good guy. Great. Okay, you hang up the phone. Then you pick up, okay, Harry, my brother John just gave me, Tom's the plumber. Is he a good guy? Yeah. You kind of call 3 people because you're going to exchange a big chunk of change before you do business with them, right? Well, now we can look at their profiles and see who they're connected to that is in your sphere. Also, you are doing your homework. You're learning about them. You are showing you're interested in them. So I challenge you, do not do this unless you really want to build a relationship with this person. You are giving them a broader awareness online with all these new likes. So another like, you're bringing awareness. So you're lifting them up. Now here's the magic. So when you want to reach out to one of these people, they're more likely to accept an email versus blindly sending them one out of the blue. I had a young man a couple of years ago, I met at, I think it was a chamber event, and he was a financial planner. And he got my business card. He was so excited. He's very eager, a young man just getting into this business. And the next day he called me, he goes, oh, Jeanette, I met you at the chamber event. Oh my gosh, you're so interesting. I'd love to go for coffee with you. And I'm like, ooh, if this fellow only looked up who I was is there an alignment with what I have to what he could have? Like, what's his intent? His intent was to pick my brain versus build relationship. So I had a, our brains, a split second. Okay, Jeanette, you can kind of brush this kid off and go, no, or I can have a teachable moment. So I taught him this system to set him up for success. And remember, when you do this, in my email box, it tells me Instagram, Bob Smith is following you. Twitter, Bob Smith is following you. LinkedIn, you have a new message, Bob's following you. Facebook, he wants to be your friend. His name is showing up in my email box. And then all of a sudden it shows up with a nice message. It's like, wow, this guy really wants to get to know me. And of course, there's a whole different methodology for sending an email as well. By the way, when you connect on LinkedIn, just to go back up to LinkedIn, the magic lies. So sure enough, the person connects with you. You want to put this question. Are you ready? Please tell me 3 things that are top of mind that are happening in your business today. You may get 1 of 2 responses back. You may get, did you not look at my profile? And it's like, well, yes, I did. Hey, I bet you set your profile up years ago. What's happening today? Or you may get, wow, no one's asked me that before. And do you want the Reader's Digest version or the long version? I went, give me the Reader's Digest version. And they will share with you. And we know within those words, well, number 1, this is happening. Number 2, this is happening. Within those words will be opportunity to build connection and relationship, to identify where you fit into his life, where they fit into your life. So do you see the magic? You've done your homework before you want to have that meeting. Pretty cool. You make yourself memorable. You make the magic for them. More followers, more information. You maybe while you're looking around at their profiles, you give a little comment, and then you'll make the magic. So this applies to now with the Zoom chats. I take my Zoom chats. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. I take the Zoom chat and I highlight their email address. I highlight their phone numbers and all the rest of that jazz. And then I put it into my email system because remember, it's implied consent. When somebody drops their information into the chat, it's implied consent. And I do the same thing, put them in my CRM system, put them in my constant contact. I send out cards if they give me their address, and I'll send them a card. So that's step 1. You want to know where some people are right now in your life? There's right under your nose in your little Rolodex. Start bringing them from paper to alternative reality or to your social media, so they'll come back to you in reality.
But it's also just to step in for a second. It's also a matter of, because this is where I've failed in the past or dropped the ball in the past, especially pre-COVID, going to networking events, getting those cards, because I have stacks and stacks of cards. Most of us are thinking about ourselves. Most of us are thinking, is this our customer? We're not necessarily thinking sphere of influence, connections, because they know people.
Yep.
So it's a matter of looking at it differently, right? And looking at just getting to know these people, getting to know someone, and just expanding our network.
So you want to know where the greatest success is going to be going from today forward is being a phenomenal number 2. Everybody has a number 1 in their life. That's awesome. When that number 1 drops off, the number 2 that has treated you really well will become your number 1.
Okay, so if you guys are watching this, if you're watching the replay or live or whatever, like this is the Oprah aha moment for everyone, okay? Because it's so true. Exactly. Everyone's got someone, usually, especially, and I just did a training with a bunch of financial planners. Most people, if they're going to be a customer of yours, most people have a financial planner who would want a financial planner. But at some point, and I said this to them, but not the way you did, which is more powerful. But yeah, eventually, even in my sign business, I know the same thing. Most businesses have dealt with a sign company before, a graphics company before, but at some point they'll either drop the ball, the service will be lacking, the key person will leave, or whatever. Be the number two, be there, and just in the connections. I love it. I love it.
And the number two tends to be the one who cultivated an authentic relationship with you.
Another keyword, authentic. Yes.
Yes, that thought about you, that just said hi or picked up the phone. The number two. Right now, the number two position is so powerful, and that leads me to using social media now. Now you've got all those connections and you're following them. This is the most powerful part. Both of them are powerful. One's reality, one's now our virtual world. Is Marshall, when somebody gives you an emoji on a post, it is their way of reading your posts and having an emotional response that right now we're so fearful about putting our words out there underneath in a comment. But you know what? I can give you a heart. I can give you a thumbs up. I can give you a thumbs down. I can give you a cry face, an angry face, a happy face in there. When you recognize that it was me that came to the glass of the cell phone, read your post, and gave you a heart, some sort of dopamine response kicked my adrenals that went, you know what? In that split second, humanity makes decisions so fast. I'm going to lift my arm and give you a heart. I'm going to use an analogy. Why in business do we put window dressing up on our windows? We want to attract people walking by, right? We want to attract them to walk by so they see what we're all about and that they stop and do the puppy in the window. Oh my gosh, I love that pink sweater. Oh my gosh, it looks beautiful. You're in the store behind the glass of your storefront and you see that person outside. Takes about 10, 15 seconds to look at your whole window. Do you like wave at them from your desk? Hi, thanks for coming to my window. Yeah, it's great. It's a great window. Yeah, it's a great window. No, a good business owner gets off their bum. They move their bum chum and they walk to their front door. They open the front door and they ask the person on their side of the glass, on their turf, and say, thank you for stopping at our window. Thank you for stopping at my post. And you gave me a heart. Why don't you come on in? So the first key piece is taking a look at those hearts on Instagram or thumbs up or any of the emojis on LinkedIn and recognizing that a human being gave those to you. And here's the key part is you can take your little cursor because you're the admin and you can look at their profile. I've been in business for a long time and my first big profession was in ladies' clothing. And we always called it the black book. You know, everybody has they call it a CRM now, but it was the black book. Their birthdays, what they did on the weekends. You got to know your customer. You took feverish notes, likes yellow dresses, going to a gala, play soccer with their kids, whatever. And you mentally made a note, or a good business professional made that black book. So when something came into your life or into your business that matched in your black book, you called the customer. Well, now we as people leave our black book for the world to see. So Bob Smith gives me a heart on my post about, disorganization in my office. I do that kind of post. I can look at his profile. I can look that he's a family man. I can look that he's walking down the street. I can look his desk is as messy as my desk. I can look that whatever his life is there. So if I came back and recognized the fact that Bob's life is disorganized like my life, at Bob Smith in the Instagram, wow, thank you so much for giving me a heart on my post about my disorganized office. What kind of system do you have? But I know what kind of system he has because I went and I did my research before I broached that subject because I could look at his profile. It takes years. It would take years to learn about somebody. When they trusted you enough to share with them, they really were a size 16, but they said they were a size 12. It took years for people to trust you. Now we are putting our life out there, trusting people will see us for who we are. The other thing is, now you've seen their posts, how about going over to their life? If he's got a disorganized desk, when you've seen on his post and your disorganized desk, showing up for him, making a comment on his post. Oh my gosh, you know what? Check out my post that I just did about my disorganized desk. Wow, yours looks so much better than mine. He gets alerted. He's getting alerted that he was seen. He shared a piece of his life, and I showed up for him in a seeing way, not in a schmarmy way. And I'm going to broach that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just thinking that because a lot of people
Yes.
jump on that. A lot of people.
No, they immediately want to barf an order, like they want to barf an offer without doing
Yes.
the work.
Yes.
It's like, come in and make a comment. Or you see on there that they're making cookies, and you know you love making cookies as a grandma with your kids in the kitchen, and you see that and it's like, wow, if that makes you warm and fuzzy and you have an emotional reaction,
Yeah.
well, go tell somebody.
Yeah.
And these are where your connections are going to come from. These are where your people, your I guess they call them now, build your tribe, online, but in life as well. Because you know what, guys? Everything is by behavior.
But are you
how you're behaving? Yeah, go ahead.
Are you saying, okay, would you say then, I'm going to turn it around on you then, because you said implied consent, right?
Yes.
Business card, the email address when they're given. Are you saying the same thing with a like or a heart or like any kind of an emoji? Is that implied consent?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
But no, okay.
Oh, I love this next question. I think I'm reading your mind.
But in Facebook, so someone posts a question, I'm looking for a social media expert, or no, not that I'm looking for. I'm having trouble with my social media, blah, 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 whatever, and people start making comments, right? Is this implied, right? And then is that implied, can't even say the word, implied consent either way for direct messages?
No.
Ah,
no, I'm so glad. Okay. To me, how I behave in a direct message is now I'm bringing myself to your house.
Thank you.
I'm bringing myself, my message, my wanting to build relationship now into your space. It's very respectful. I will answer the question. Somebody was looking for a social media person and they tagged me in. First of all, I went and I thanked the person publicly on that post. Thank you so much for tagging me into this post. And then I put, hey, I'm here to help so-and-so, whoever's name was in so-and-so. I'm now leaving it to so-and-so to work their way through, to do the research, and or I trust Bonnie Smith, my friend that I love and adore in my life, and I built my relationship, that she said, Sam, Joe, Bob, you know what? That's the person I'm going to use first. That's the person who I'm going to start my conversation with first. And then it gets to a point where, much like when you buy a car, you start like this. You're on the showroom floor looking at the car and the features, and you get closer and closer and closer to that car. The salesman always takes you into the private office to discuss. So great question. I had a lady, case in point, wanted to build relationship with me or connection with me, sends me a message out of the blue. She is in a group that I'm in as well, group that I love and adore, called the Daily Gratitude, that I love and adore that group, Daily Gratitude Daily, anyways. And she's in that group and she sent me a message saying, hey, I have a question for you. I'm like, I'm curious. I love answering questions. Her question was, I'm a real estate agent. Do you know anybody in your church group, your community, your family and friends who could use a realtor? I'm like, who the F are you?
Yeah.
Do not think if you looked at my profile, I'm not a young puppy, that I don't have this many real estate agents, that I look for the person to make sure you get the right real estate person to meet your need. Yeah. Not cool. Not cool, people. Not cool. So
this is all the cold calling. This is the whole conversation about cold calling. That's really what it is. It's not consent.
It's not implied consent.
It's not implied consent. I like it.
And even when you send that first email, and in Canada, I'm not sure with people that are in the US or around the world that are watching, we have to have that unsubscribe. We have to have a physical business address at the bottom to show we're legit, and people will unsubscribe. Marshall, I'd love to tell you the results. Okay. I had my virtual assistant take all my business cards after I'd done the lifting up, because that's my fun thing. I love that part. She took all my business cards that I had, put it into my constant contact. I had about 2,200 categorized properly, best money I've ever spent in my life for my business. Sent out my first email on constant contact. I had 3% unsubscribe. Why? I made myself memorable.
Yeah.
I made myself memorable. So when my email came up, and as I go to build now, when I send out a constant contact, I may be getting 2 or 3 people that are unsubscribing.
Yeah.
So this is where right in front of us, I challenge all of you guys. I will give you that form. I think on groups, you can upload forms and documents or files that people can download. I print off a bunch, and I will take, and I had one of my clients who so believed in this. I'm going to give a shout out to Trevor Asman. I don't know if you're watching. This was the defining moment. You know, when you just had your Oprah moment here? But about 3 years ago, I was helping him. He's an amazing gay fellow who is proud. He wrote 2 books. One was his coming out story. One was how to tell your parents. And we're sitting there at Starbucks, I know in Aldergrove, and he threw himself back in his chair. And I'm like, what's going on? We're finished. He goes, oh, wow, Jeanette. He says, you're teaching me about LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You do everything with such great intent in your life. You don't manipulate anybody. You're not coercive at anybody. You're not calculating. Wow, you're so intentful. He goes, I met you networking at that time. It was the Connect Now Business Network. He goes, I can see me getting my goals in life. You're lifting me up. You're teaching me how I can lift other people up with what I have in my life. You're lifting me up. Well, our next meeting, he went out and had designed up for me these little cards to attach, a business card to attach to the business card. On the one side, it's got all the symbology with B and P. So I can go cross, 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 cross. And on the other side was my rule of 24, 48, 72. Okay. 24 hours after you get a connections implied consent, the gift of the Zoom chat, you want to apply a lifting up. 48 hours later, you want to do that first, met you email, because they would have saw your name popping up. Hi, sent you, well, I've just done my research and I lifted up myself. You can say that, I lifted up myself on your social media, and love to talk to you more about what we were talking about. I'd love to learn more about your business. So that's 48 hours later. And if in there's something to do with book a coffee or a phone call or something like that, let it go for 72 hours. And you come back and you pick up the phone. And that's where you've got 2 things. Hi, it's me, Jeanette. Is this a good time? That was the best advice I've been ever given in business whenever I wanted to follow up with someone. Is this an okay time for you? Because remember, us humans are curious little cats. And when the phone rings, we'll pick the damn thing up and go, oh, I wonder who that is. And then you're like, oh, you have to remember when you're calling somebody, you're breaking their flow. They're curious, but your phone call is breaking their flow. So when they say, no, this isn't a good time. Oh, that's great. You know what? I've got my day timer out. Can we call Friday, 8 o'clock? Good for you. Good for you. Great. Have a good day. Then because us humans in our little pea brains, we will give tick boxes. And if I call it 7:55 or 8:05, I've failed. I've given you the first little task that I want you to fulfill before I'm going to give you my time and currency and money and business. And if you call Friday at 8 o'clock, we think about this, it's subconscious. Call at 8 o'clock. Hey, Marshall, it's 8 o'clock. Remember, it was in your day timer, my day timer. Can we have that conversation? By the time you meet a contact and you want to work through that relationship, it should be put to bed within a week, 24, 48, 72. And yeah, I often say follow up or be effed up.
Wow.
Little nuggets.
Yeah. Well, that's why, gang, that's why I wanted, because I call this the UnBusiness Show. And this is really looking at things differently. Because, listen, there's so many of us. There's only one you. There's only one Jeanette. That I have this new term called getting Genetified. And I've been Genetified. It's a real term, though, if you look it up. It's in Wikipedia. It should be in Wikipedia. Okay. I just got, it's just, yeah.
And guys, just remember the humanity. If I can loop it back to anything, it's me. This is not AI that's coming and delivering this message to you on your side of the screen. If you're watching your computer, tablet, whatever, on the phone, it's a real life human being that is giving you the heart, that's showing up for you, that you want to make sure that you show up for them. And one question I often get is calling out these people. And remember, when that person gave you a heart, thumbs up, thumbs down, cry face, whatever that is, and you come back in that moment, we are seeing you are acknowledging they're a human being too.
Mm-hmm.
They're a human being too. And I'll leave you with this, the two on LinkedIn, because I love and adore LinkedIn. If anybody wants help with their LinkedIn, put it in the comment and I'll let you know whatever I charge for that. LinkedIn's so powerful right now. There's two emojis that people are giving right now. If they give you these two emojis underneath your posts, we all know the thumbs up, woohoo, yay, or love you or support you. The light bulb and the curious. There's a little light bulb emoji and there's a little emoji. Think about it. They were inspired or insight. That's what the little light bulb. That means, oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
You come back and ask them, what did you gave me the light bulb moment. What was your light bulb moment? On the comments, they will be able to say, oh, the light bulb moment is when, oh my gosh, a stack of business cards is a gift. And like, yes, that's what I wanted to communicate. You get to check for understanding. Or they will say, this is what my light bulb moment was. And we're like, wow, that's what you got out of that. But this is what I really wanted to say. And if somebody gives you a curious, they're leaning in to want to know more information.
Listen, this is all amazing stuff because so many times we post on LinkedIn, Facebook as well, probably, but LinkedIn, because LinkedIn's a little bit, it's a totally different game. You get likes, you get supports, whatever, and we ignore them. And it's like the dopamine and it's like going on us saying, oh, we feel good. Oh yeah, people have acknowledged us, but we leave it.
We feel good, but it's about them.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I think it happens on Facebook as well. It's a little more engaging, but that's yeah. I'm never going to look at a business card or an email address in the chat the same again.
It's a gift.
It's a gift.
It's a gift because you were present. You were present for that person, for them to give you their personal information, business information. It's a gift, people. It's a privilege to have that information now and foster that relationship, that connection relationship, and watch how life will change for you.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, we can go on about it, and there's so many different ways we can go, and we'll do it maybe for another business show in the future. But
absolutely.
So how can people connect with you?
How can people apply lifting up of themselves in my world?
Sure.
Please find me on LinkedIn, Jeanette Y bracket Harvey Martin. I put my maiden name up there, so my school friends can find me. So LinkedIn, I have a company page on LinkedIn, MYBC Consulting. Please go follow it. Instagram, MYBC Consulting, Martin Y. Jeanette on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Facebook business page. I'm on Twitter, and I'm also, personal and business as well. I'm on Alignable. I'm on YouTube. I think it's going to morph to be Lifting Up E, because of course I'm learning more about Alignable and YouTube these days.
I want you let you roll with it, because this is your thing, and it's awesome. You've taught me a lot. I know you've taught it people, everyone else. Guys, put stuff in the comments, even after the fact if you're watching the replay, because you'll get Genetified. Jeanette will respond. We'll get it. Let's get into a conversation. And really, that's what it's all about, right? It's all about engaging in a conversation with each other.
Absolutely.
And helping and supporting each other. And that's what we do here in the Facebook group. And that's why I brought you on, because you do it. You do it for me, and you do it for everyone that I know that you've come in contact with since I've met you, or virtually met you, whatever, 10 months ago, 9 months ago. So it's awesome. So thank you.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
Thank you for watching. Get in touch with Jeanette if you want to learn more about it, and follow her and all that kind of stuff. And we'll see you next time.
Bye. Go apply a Lifting Up to somebody today.
Yes, that's a good one. Bye-bye.